On a Sunday afternoon, I sat in the park. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, little kids were swinging and laughing and spinning the merry-go-round. I really had a wonderful time. Just a couple of simple hours watching the kids play and enjoying the beauty of nature. Welcome to Paint a Beautiful Picture. We're going to talk today about taking joy where you find it. My life has really been a little crazy lately. Okay, let me modify that. A lot. It really has. So, if your life has been a little crazy and things have been out of control and there have been a lot of abnormalities going on and you've been frustrated and you've been upset and you've just had a hard time keeping it together, wow, I get it. So, this is for all of us, not just you, but me too. In the midst of all of the insanity, you need to find those little tiny moments of joy. One of those for me is watching the birds at the bird feeder in the morning, even for 5 minutes, while they flit around and grab a seed. Some of them will sit on the feeder and snatch a seed and crack it open and eat it right there and throw stuff around. Some of them take a single seed and fly away to a nearby tree or bush and crack it open there and eat it calmly and privately without all these others pushing them around or fighting for it. It's just really interesting to me to be able to sit and watch the birds at the feeder. That's a moment of joy for me. If I see a butterfly flying by, or even better, if I see a butterfly around a plant, I will stop and consider and watch that butterfly for a while, going to various flowers and enjoying what's happening. Sitting outside on the porch and watching the hummingbirds feed, or even just in the calm of my own mind, sitting down quietly for a minute and reflecting on something that was beautiful, whether that was a beautiful sunset or a beautiful quilt, a wonderful piece of art, a great piece of literature or writing. In all of those things, I can find and take moments of joy where I find them. I love to go on walks with little kids because to them, so many things are a treasure. A rock is a treasure. A bug is a treasure. A lizard is a treasure. They have really great ideas about what treasures are. And I think that we need to remember that. We need to take joy in those little treasured parts of life, even in the midst of the most chaotic craziness. Your kids may decide that they're going to act really silly on this day when you're already stressed out and you're like, I want you all to quiet down in there, knock it off. Instead, I want to invite you to listen to the sound of your children's laughter and enjoy it a lot. Someday they'll grow up and you won't hear it again. I can still remember the sounds of my sons laughing when they would play on the playground when they were little boys. I remember the sounds of them laughing when they were goofing off as teenagers. And hallelujah, I still have the privilege of knowing how it sounds when they laugh pretty vigorously today. It is a great treasure in my mind. I can take joy in those things when I recall. You need to find out how to take joy in a moment of music. Like when your favorite song comes on the radio, you're listening to the oldie station, or you're listening to today's music. And you crank that baby up, and everybody in the car is singing, and it's a great couple of moments of being together and enjoying something together. Really look for a second in the rearview mirror and take joy in that moment. You've got to take joy where you can find it. There's no question, life has a lot of trouble in it. When you have kids of any age, from the littlest to adult ones, there is always something. That's just the way it is. Even if it's regular life, there is always something. You can focus on that. This is your decision. You get to choose what you focus on. But I really want to invite you today that the principle of taking joy where you find it is a really vital one. If you lived, so I want you to picture this for a little while, in a foreign country, in a room that is 10 feet square, you did not have running water, you went to the bathroom outdoors in an outhouse, you had electricity some of the time, but certainly not all of the time. You were far away from your friends and your family, and you didn't speak the language very well, which has most assuredly happened to me a few different times in my life. You learn to take joy where you find it. So you see a flower that you've never seen before, or one that you love in full bloom and the fragrance is amazing, like hyacinths right now are wonderful. And you just consider the petals and the shape and the form and you take joy in it. You hear on the radio that one of your favorite teams just got their hands on an astoundingly good player. Take joy in that very moment. In spite of the troubles, in spite of the difficulties, in spite of the challenges, I want you to learn the principle of taking joy where you find it and teach that principle to your children. It definitely makes life richer and more beautiful, for sure. My challenge question for you today is this: even when things are really tough, do I look for and revel in moments of joy? Or am I just absolutely oblivious to them? And thus, I am stealing from myself the possibilities of joy, even in the most difficult times. I hope you find some great moments of joy today. Thank you for being with me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble, and you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button.